And we are live with Joe Walker, our own Fitz Group, better version of the Dean Magnozzi rock star, showing us how to make a better plan for our retirement. So I'm going to start this interview with basically it's going to be a conversation because I feel honored to have Joe Walker on our team and as a lead. And he's all shy, so he's going to laugh. But I'm just going to tell everybody what they should probably know about Joe Walker.
You crazy.
I am. I'm crazy about your brain, baby. And the reason that I love your brain is because I know when I have clients that I'm not sure exactly what strategy is best for them, I can count on your brain. I'll let Tawny have your body, but I just want your brain.
Any way I can help.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for your time this evening. I want people to know that you are an engineer. So you get down to it and you tinker and you get to solutions and you make things happen. So we're fortunate to have you. I also want people to know that we're going to be talking about 3 different areas. We're going to talk about, we're going to kind of touch on 401ks and IRAs, how that works. We're going to talk about lifting the hood to see what that looks like for individuals that don't make $50 million a year. And also we're going to talk about, more for you and less for the IRS. Everybody likes that. And then we're going to end with the income retirement planning. Checkmate. Yeah. And that's where you really shine. I mean, wow. So I'm super, super stoked, and I'm trying really hard to hold all my excitement in, and it's a little challenging.
I'm trying hard not to disappoint you.
You can't disappoint me, baby. Not with that brain.
I don't know. I don't want to mess it up.
You can't mess it up. All you have to do is do what Joe does. So let me just tell the audience, whenever I'm challenged, I'm in home, I'm with a client, and I really need someone to help me understand the best strategy that meets that particular client's need. I pick up the phone and I call Joe. I don't call Joe. I blow up his phone until he answers me. And then he answers me.
Oh, it must be important to call me 12 times. Okay. I better pick this one up.
And the funny thing about this was I woke up one Sunday morning, which is when I do most of my admin thinking about my business and how I wanted to grow. And I had this idea. And believe it or not, the whole YouTube thing started with you.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, you had no idea.
Why is that? You do tell for a brief moment. Do tell.
It started because I was trying to figure out with COVID, how can I really help people?
Mm-hmm.
And who are my star players on the team? And, we both love basketball. So you always have to have that person that's going to be your Michael Jordan that's going to slam dunk it in everybody's faces and be nasty about it. And that is my Joe Walker. So that's how it came about. I was thinking, how can we help people understand they have options, introduce those options in a way that they understand them, and then execute in a way that's going to benefit them that they can see today, tomorrow, and into the future. Mm-hmm. And that's when I called you. I think you were doing something, and I'm like, I'm Joe. I'm doing it.
I remember the phone call. I remember it.
Yeah. And you had no idea what I was thinking, poor baby.
Well, it's a good call because you're just trying to serve your clients the best possible way, and you grab the resources that are available to you. So, it's real innovative. So, I was happy to be able to be available for you at that time. And help kind of feed the dream on helping people. There's a lot of people out there who want the input.
Well, and not just the input, but really have the way that you bring the clients in and you do the numbers on that Excel sheet. You engineers love Excel. And you made it so simple. It looked like a kindergartner could do it, which really was appealing to me to help clients understand this really, people that love Excel, they could get on there and create it and come back to us and say, well, here's what I have. And we can just go through it and execute.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So I'm grateful. I'm excited. I'm honored. I am blessed and highly favored to have such a phenomenal team, and specifically you, my big little brother.
Awesome. Glad to be here.
So I think what we want to start with is an introduction and give everyone just a little bit of your background, how you came to be, and how long you've been my IUL.
The ninja.
That was amazing. I watched you that day. I swear I had a whole, I was like, wow. That's when my geek totally showed up. I was like, oh my God, he is so, listening to clients and really, number one, hearing them, connecting with them, and then providing a solution that fits for each individual. I was like, okay. Get him.
Oh man.
I'm super excited.
It's a lot of fun. Well, thanks, Dawn. You've embarrassed me now for sure. So I really hope I don't blow it now.
You won't.
But yeah, hey, my name is Joe Walker. I live in Seattle. Me and my wife Tawny been married 29 years, and she's amazing. She's my tall vanilla extra hot latte, is what I call her. And we've got 4 wonderful kids up here in the Pacific Northwest. It's been good. My background is like Dawn mentioned. I'm graduated with a BS in mechanical engineering from Fresno State because I'm a nerd, and I was one of those kids who grew up playing with Legos. And I love to put stuff together. I love to take it apart. I love to put it together. And I love making things real simple for people. So, I was a so engineering student. To be honest with you, I wasn't. You're probably glad I'm not making your airplanes or your rockets.
We have Elon Musk. It's okay.
Yeah, man, that wasn't my strength, man. Making people laugh, that was my strength, and coming alongside people and helping them, that was a big strength of mine. That's what I was blessed with. So I was able to begin my life in engineering, but kind of diverted into youth ministry and family ministry for a while, and I really loved that. And solving a lot of people puzzles. And then I got into financial services because I really needed to make some money, to be honest with you. And we've been in our business now for about 15 years up here in the Pacific Northwest. It's been amazing. And we've discovered different ways to merge numbers and people and serve them in that capacity. So we've been blessed, really. We take care of about 4,000 families up here in the Pacific Northwest, or we have taken care of about 4,000 families, just us. And our agency is growing with team members like Dawn and many others in her organization. We've been helping along with that. And we've been blessed to be invited to take care of the retirement for many public employees like teachers and fire and municipalities and things like that. So it's been good. It's a big workload, but we're happy to do it, and we feel like we've been able to provide a great service for our community and just give back in that capacity. And we're not done yet. We've got a lot more work to do, and it's exciting times. A lot of people have a lot of questions and concerns about protecting their families, protecting themselves if they get sick or hurt, but big time on their retirement. That's a big concern that a lot of people have that we've been able to address with the products and the services that we provide. So, it's been a really good run, and I feel like we have many more years left to serve. So excited about that.
And I'm just going to go back to being at your home and watching you. And I can't even help people understand how amazing that experience. It was amazing. It was
Uh,
amazing because the thing that people don't realize is, what we do, how we prepare to do what we do, and how we do what we do. And to actually watch you that whole day, I was tired just watching you, but you made it look so easy. You made and you connected every different. One of my favorite ones was the lady with her kids, and she was making sure she knew who those kids were, and, and you guys really connected on that because you're looking out the window watching Trey pull out the driveway.
yeah.
So I was like, does she have a camera? Can she see what's
Working from
happening?
home it was that experience. Everybody could feel that, man. Like the world continues. It's like sweeping a driveway in a tornado. You know what I'm saying? Like you're trying to make sure everything's straight, but it's just chaos all around you. You know, there's only so much you can do. That's working from home. It's crazy.
And you looked out the window. Oh, well, he just almost killed himself. Let's just get back to work.
He's still alive, so let's go. I totally forgot about that until you just brought it up again. So I'm glad you remember.
Well, it was a memorable moment for numerous reasons. Mm. You were paying attention to your environment, but you were really still focused on the client. Mm-hmm. And you were able to really hear, with all the distractions, what she needed, what she wanted, and what she expected from you. Mm-hmm. And that's what I came away with. And that's why I wanted to have this recording with you, because I was so excited to watch you, because I hadn't had that opportunity in 5 years.
Yeah. And we've known each other that long, at least, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need to go up at least once a month. I just want to watch. This is a good show.
It's always a show.
Thank you, COVID.
Yeah.
Thank you, COVID. That was a great show. And what was amazing about it was you every client was different, and you prepared for every client differently. Mm-hmm. But you were present 100% every single time. And that took a lot of energy, my God.
Well, I think that's one of the things that's special about, what we do, I don't think anybody in financial services really doing the job can be replaced by a piece of software like a TurboTax or some kind of other,
machine
kind of calculator, because it requires a couple things. It requires empathy. I think number one, you got to care about people's situation. It requires creativity, and it requires creativity and innovation. It requires some autonomy. You've got to be able to learn and grow and expand with your people. You have to understand where they're coming from. Really, like, sit in their living room with them without us being able to physically be there. I think that's one of the big things that's changed is, all those 4,000 families that I've helped before, I was in their living room. I've broken many a car driving across the state in places where, you wouldn't think a person of my hue would actually go to, but like, I didn't really care. I just had to go and go serve families. And when you're in somebody's house, kind of see how they live and you see what's important to them. So it's a big challenge to do that over a telephone or, even over a Zoom call. But, we've been able to do that. And, it's important to hear where people are coming from in regards to their retirement. They got some big concerns about what's going on with their money. And, they've been getting advice from, I'm talking about working professionals. I'm not talking about, dude who just kind of like puts rubber stamps on things, and just not really thinking about things. These are teachers or educators, they're college people have real concerns about what's going on with their money, and they don't really have anybody to simplify it for them. Many of them don't even know how to log on to their own website where They don't even know who has their money.
That was crazy. I heard that like 5 times.
Yeah, it's bananas. They don't even know. They don't know how much they have. They don't know where it is. They don't know who's got it. They don't know when they're getting it. So, for me, like, I don't know, Dawn, I'm a simple guy. Like, I think it's one of the things that I remember out of just going through engineering. I'm like, there's gotta be an easier way to understand these concepts that people are coming at me with. And I just tried to simplify everything. And I got in trouble a couple of times doing it because I was supposed to come off a lot more technical with my presentations in school. But, one of the things that I found always that was really kind of cool is that people understood what I was trying to communicate. And they were able to have, simple understanding of what was going on. I think Einstein said that you never really understand something unless you could explain it in a simple way. And that's been kind of a mantra for me as I'm just trying to counsel people. I think one of the big things that I really want to do is just empower people to take control of their own retirement. For too many years, they've left it in the hands of people who really don't care about whether they make it or not. They're just looking to make money off of their money. And so, I feel like God's put me in a unique position to empower people to own their own destiny, so to speak, to give them give them back the steering wheel and the keys to their financial future. Yes. And it's been real good. It's been real positive.
Well, and speaking to that, you encouraged me. I was so intimidated. I wouldn't, 2-3 years ago, I wouldn't even do it. I would just call you. And now, because of how simple you've made it, I feel confident and confident in talking to my clients and going through the process and helping simplify it so that they can know, okay, do this, and we're going to look at it for this.
Right.
5 years, 10 years, this is what we're going to be. This is the opportunity we have. And you're so great at that. And that's why I wanted you on this call, because I really believe the service that we can and will provide will be in helping people create that plan and understanding what that plan is. Anybody can walk by and ask them, and they can go off the top of their head and they know exactly what they have, which is not normal.
No.
And I just, again, I want to toot your horn, so don't be too embarrassed. But I want you to talk about when you go in and you find people's future, you find money that they didn't realize they could leverage and or had.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I want you to talk about that, because I believe in my heart of hearts, when we're looking in this environment, we have 10,000 people turning 65 a day, some crazy number.
Yeah.
And we have big work. There's not enough of us. I tell people all the time.
Right.
Oh yes, hint, hint. We are hiring.
Right.
We need help. We need help. We need competent people that care about people, that are patient for and with people. But your number, since you started the whole paraplanning with the teachers, is off the charts amazing.
Yeah, we just dove right in to serving that whole entire community, and I love it. My parents were both educators, really instilled that in me from an early age. But my dad used to warn me, like, son, if you don't be a teacher because it doesn't pay, and but yet without teachers, man, families just, like, we couldn't do anything, man. Like, our kids would be dumb. I mean, straight up, I feel for them, man. Like the stuff that they have to do right now to actually teach and get information to kids, that they would actually, because they're tuning out so hard. But there's only a select few teachers that really love teaching, that are really making it happen right now, and my hat's off to them. But we've been able to serve in that community. I think you're asking, are you asking how do I actually find ways to actually serve them? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
I think when it comes down to, teachers and really to anybody who's out there working, like what you do, I just want to let you know, if you're working out there, what you do is significant. Like it contributes big time to the whole of our country. I just want to give you a shout out. I don't care if you're working at McDonald's. I don't care if you're working, you're working an excavator, if you're in a crane, if you're a doctor, if you're an attorney or whatever. Like, what you do is important. It's important to you. It's important to your family. And you got a lot of people counting on you, to actually be good at what you do. And, you're making a paycheck. And there's going to come a time when you're just not going to be working as much as you normally are right now. I mean, that's the fact of it. One day you're going to be old. Maybe you're old right now. Maybe you're beyond old. Maybe you're a super senior right now. I don't know. But, there's I'm talking to the guys who are working right now. There's, you deserve a good retirement. You deserve to find a way to pay your monthly expenses while you're retired. You deserve to have, a good life. And a lot of that hinges on, how your money's operating. So when I'm talking to somebody, I just really want to kind of give it, I want to find and discover with a family, what are all the moving parts to their retirement? What's going on with Social Security? What's going on with their 401k? Do they have side money? I've run into a couple of people who have significant inheritance. I've run into people who have rental properties and things like that. All that plays into the final numbers, And so I try to really come alongside and find out what those pieces actually are going to do when they pull the trigger on retirement. And I've run into some people who received some really, just bad advice. Maybe you received bad advice from somebody out there, your cousin's friends, gardeners, buddy. Maybe Pookie gave you some advice. Maybe, Bill gave you some advice, and it didn't think it made any sense, but now it really just it's off. So, we just try to put the pieces together, Dawnn, in a real compassionate way. I'm really trying to empower people to know where their money is and how it actually moves. And, to me, it's real simple because I'm a nerd. This is just stuff that I'm able to just kind of live in because I do numbers. But you know what I don't do? I don't teach kids every day. That's really hard. I'm not driving a crane every day. That's really hard. I'm not doing a bypass surgery every day. That's really hard. And I'm talking about people educated who don't know what's going on with their money. And they just want somebody to just kind of show them how the pieces all go together. So we just take our time with it. Right.
And that moves right to lifting the hood. I really want you to dive into when we lift the hood up and we look under the crevices and we pull out all of the numbers and the age and the making sure we can fit them within the confines. Matter of fact, we have 25 carriers and over 150 products. Yeah. So that's not the issue. The issue is really understanding what we're dealing with and then creating a strategy that's going to meet that client's needs.
Well, and that's a really great point. Most people have plans that are retirement plans, but they don't know how they work. Mm-hmm. And so, there's a number of them out there. The most popular one is a 401k plan. Maybe you have one of those. Maybe you've heard of those. There's 403bs, there's 401as, there's 457s, there's all different kinds of, there's different defined pension plans, et cetera. There's SEP IRAs and IRAs. Like all these things have specific rules on how they operate. Mm-hmm. Probably the most popular rule that exists for a retirement plan is tax deferral, right?
Yes, so let's talk about that.
Okay, so tax deferral is the concept of, you getting your paycheck and you're going to have to pay taxes on it. Because it's income. And the idea is for you to actually put money aside in a retirement fund that will earn money without being taxed.
Yes.
Which puts you at a massive advantage, really, if you have a long-term horizon for your retirement. However, here's the problem with that. Most of us understand that taxes are probably going to wind up going up in the future.
Yes.
And deferring some of us can't help it. I mean, it just kind of is what it is. But most financial planners will counsel individuals and say that you're probably going to be in a lower tax bracket when you're older, which I don't know if you know this, but if you're in a lower tax bracket, that means that you're more broke than you were when you were working.
Exactly.
And usually that's
that's not a good look.
It's not a good look. Yeah, that's crazy. So I just try to tell everybody, like, if you're paying 20-something% in taxes right now, 22% or 24% or whatever it is, or even 38%, on the higher tax brackets, if you're in a lower tax bracket, that's great. The lowest tax bracket, I think, is like 12 or 15 right now.
Yes.
So if you're in that tax bracket, that means that you're in a poverty level. Now, that's right. Like, a lot of people can hide a lot of different money and, mortgage payment, interest and things like that. But you got to remember, when you get older, you probably have less of a mortgage payment. Mm-hmm. You don't have any dependents. You don't have a lot of write-offs anymore. So it's kind of like just
open season.
You're just completely exposed to the tax code at that point. So the taxes are going to be, you might be in a lower tax bracket, but you're probably paying, like, I don't know, like, it could be more, it could be horrible. And if you don't think that taxes are going to be higher in the future, then I just want to remind you that our government just passed a multi-trillion-dollar stimulus package, where maybe some of you, I know I got a little bit of money from the government, and that money's coming from somewhere. Like, it's gonna come from taxes on you and me and your kids or grandkids, and who knows how many generations. So is our taxes going to be increasing? Yeah, sure. So, I mean, people don't understand how that actually plays into it. And a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people feel, or they've been told, that that's the only option that they have. Put money in those kind of funds that, they're just going to tax them in the future. They have no idea of the other products and services that are out there that we happen to work with that actually can help mitigate that in a really significant way. And sometimes increase retirement output by 25 to 50%. I mean, sometimes even more than that. I mean, I've seen, 3-4 times the amount that you're getting out of a 401k if you start right at the early time. And I'm talking about after tax dollars. I mean, it's just really amazing what we can do out there and how we're able to serve families. But looking under the hood, looking at people's retirement plans and showing them how they actually work, how interest works, how taxes works, how contributions work. Those are all things that people just don't know about. They learned on in the very beginning of their employment. They go through some kind of orientation. Somebody runs them through something that sounds like Charlie Brown adults talking on a cartoon, and they walk away. They're like, I don't know what just happened, but I guess I'm in a retirement plan. And they walk around ignorant for years. And I'll just say financially disabled for years. And until somebody actually comes by and swaps the disability with an empowerment, right? Which is what we really try to do.
And I can't help myself again. I'm super excited. What you taught your daughter to do.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. Can we just lift the lid on that?
Yeah. So I have a daughter. Her name is KK. She's like super beautiful and everything. So if you try to get at my daughter,
stop it.
I'm gonna go Liam Neeson on you. So it's gonna be crazy. She's a straight A student. She's super smart, super beautiful. My favorite daughter, my only daughter. One of the things I let her understand really clearly about with what we do is I really wanted her to take advantage of her youth right now. Time is probably our most precious commodity. And, when you can position your children in a way where they could take advantage of that, I was like, there's just nothing better. So she's a competitive dancer at school, wasn't able to dance because of COVID, decided she would go ahead and get a job. Tanya and I put her in a growth product called Index Universal Life Insurance years ago. And we told her, we've been educating them, all 4 of my kids, we put them all in one. So we've educated all of them on how this program works and how it's supposed to be working for their advantage. And then one day they're going to participate in growing their own future right now. So I showed her everything's going on with their program. So how it works for her. So she, instead of dancing, she decided she would get a job at a grocery store. So she's working at a grocery store. And we've been teaching her how to put away money for herself right now, 10%. No, she's probably putting away more like 15, 20%. She's got a savings plan. It's kind of liquid. She's got a plan where she's putting away for her vehicle right now. She's already saved this year over $5,000 for her own vehicle. And she's putting money in her long-term savings in an index universal life insurance policy that by the time she's 40, I think she'll have well over $400,000, I think, set aside, and that's just the beginning, that's just the warm-up lap. And that's, by that time, she's going to be making a lot more money, of course. And then she's going to be able to do a whole lot more, but she's taking it. I mean, can you imagine your parents doing something like that for you, where you turn 40 and you're in the throes of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're raising kids, you got a mortgage, you're up to here. You're like, I don't even know how I'm going to make it. And then your parents turn around and go, oh, by the way, I've been putting away $40 a month for you for the last, 20 years. And then here's $250,000. I'm like, geez, man, that would be crazy. That was a total game changer. So rather than come up with the surprise, I let her participate. I'm doing it. And then I'm like, you could jump in here too. Let's double what you can actually get by that time. She's all for it. So she's in, my son Brett is in, Trey's in there, and Dante, who's he's
my favorite.
12, little knucklehead. But yeah, all of them, man. I teach them. I'm forcing it on them. Like you're going to do this until you get it. But I mean, you'll think it's one of those things, like, you'll thank me later. Right now, it's my job to parent, but fortunately, my kids have been growing up in this company and they've seen how so many different things that we've done have benefited other families. They're like, yeah, we could reap the benefits of that too. So it's been pretty cool.
So the purpose of that question was to really help people understand you're never too young. And a lot of people have issues, concerns, concepts in their mind, their mindsets around putting insurance on babies. I'm like, oh my God, that's the best thing you could ever do. Yes, because you're building a millionaire. When you now
there's some plans out there that are horrible. Right. It's just like you go to Best Buy and you can buy a horrible television. Right. Spend a little bit of money on TV, you bring it home, you're like, that was just not a good purchase. It wasn't a good use of money. Right. There's that in insurance too, but fortunately, we don't really have those products.
No, we don't.
And the products that we do have, we're in the upper echelon of those products, and then right. We're able to pick the ones that actually serve our clients like
the best,
better. I mean, my daughter will never need a 401k plan. I'll just tell you that. She will never pay taxes on any of the money that she puts away for the future. I mean, that's absolutely insane.
And so, how old is she?
16. She'll be a millionaire. She will definitely be a millionaire, and she's got the mind for it too. She's surrounded by entrepreneurs, and I know, right? She'll and guys who are good, people who are men and women who are great with money. She'll be a millionaire. She'll be
fine.
Good. She'll be fine. But
and that's why I wanted to have you on this show, because the best way to beat poverty in America is for us to start with our children.
Absolutely.
Educating them and helping them understand numbers are they're not your enemy, they're your friend.
Right.
And revisiting them 2-3 times a year, they become even better friend.
Yeah.
And when we're talking about lifting the hood and Dean McNosy's book, I want to go there because I think you've alluded to a lot of those points, but I really want you to break it down for him, Joe. Do the Joe thing. You just make my heart happy when you do the Joe thing.
Well, like I said, I just like to make things real simple. in a way that I could understand them. So,
okay, you can share your screen if you like. So
oh,
go do the Joe thing. Oh yes.
yeah. All right.
Yes, you can.
I like to cook, and so
and I like to eat your food.
Thank you very much. Yes, I like to cook, and one of the things that it always blows me away is people like what I make, and I just figured like, dang, I guess I'll make more of it. I just like to eat, right? So, and I like certain flavors and certain things, and I'm like, that looks good to me. Like, let's go. And so everybody's like, this is fantastic. I'm like, well, so I try to teach people how I cook, right? And and there's kind of the same thing with the financial concepts. I'm just doing stuff that makes sense to me, right? And then but apparently it makes sense to a lot of other people too. So I was like, oh, we're on to something here. This is great. This is fantastic. So before I share my screen, I just want to let you know when I'm talking to people, one of the things that I really want to let them understand is that there's some things that actually are weighing down their future money. And actually, like you hate it as much as I have. You've had, when you were a kid, you had all this money in your pocket, and you wind up getting home and you realize that all the money's not in your pocket. Either because like stuck your hand in and just stuff flipped out, or you had a hole in your pocket. Well, people have holes in their retirement too, and sometimes they don't really know about it. And so, one of the things that we're doing, trying to educate people and empower them, is we're trying to let them know, like, you got 7 holes in your wallet, and there are things that you can actually, you can compensate for. You can change you can change up things so that you can actually be on top of the game and ahead of the game. So I came up with an acronym. The acronym is the word filter, FILTER. And I'll share my screen with you to show you what I've got. So let me see. Okay, I'll share my screen. I'll share that screen. All right. Share this. Am I sharing?
It looks like yes, you are. All right, and cool. Add screen, yes.
All right, cool. All right, I'll share my screen with you. This is my fancy slide. Can you see it okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. All right, so I tell people this: you got to be aware of filters on your retirement income. All right, these are holes in your wallet. All right, that you got to watch out for. All right. Number one is fees. All right. I don't know if you know this, but when you have your money in a retirement fund, a lot of times you're paying somebody to actually manage that fund. But you got to remember that there's humans all over the place, and we're full of errors. And some of them are full of more errors than others. And you don't want that guy to actually be managing your money, right? But paying somebody fees to lose your money from time to time is not a good plan. All right. That's a hole in your wallet. That's one that, for many people, it's just part and parcel to how things go. Now, listen, financial planners have got to put their kids through college too. All right. I understand that they have to charge fees for what they do. I get it. But if you have your money in a place where it's getting lost frequently, and then you ask for some kind of accountability, and the guy just throws his shoulders to his ears and says, well, that's the market, or stay and hold. That's some of the information that families get. It's like, oh, like I just lost a quarter of my income. If you lived all the way through 2008, which I know everybody listening to this has, then you experienced one of the biggest drops we've ever. It's like almost 40%. It was brutal. You even remember, some of you guys even remember 2001, where we had the dot bomb era, and we had a war.
So, that's when I came into the industry.
There you go. So people, those wounds are really fresh. So when you lost money, the people managing your money were still getting paid off of your money. And so,
listen to beat.
Yeah, some people just like, oh, well, what's going on with that? Like, well, it's just the market. Keep your money here, and then it'll come back. Well, they're still making money on it the whole entire time. I remember helping a young man many years ago. He won a lawsuit. He was 18 years old. He won a lawsuit, several $1 million, and his mom wanted me to help him with his money. So he had about $1 million that was under management that he actually had access to. And that money was under management for 16 years. Okay. By the time it was all said and done, and he was able to actually take some of that money and move it into another different kind of fund, it was $1 million, and I remember this. He had his broker had made his net earnings on his account on $1 million was $16,000. His broker made $250,000 the whole entire time. So it was mind-boggling to me, that his broker made way more money than he did. So I'm like, paying fees all the time, it's not necessarily a great thing. It's not all it's cracked up to be. Okay. The other thing is inflation. All right. Now, inflation is something that you don't have really a lot of control over. It's just the wetness of water. All right. It just kind of is what it is. So, but what it is, it's how the dollar actually decreases in value over time because the cost of everything continues to rise. Now, what that translates into, real simple math, is that in 30 years, $100 is going to be worth $50. All right. So you got to find a way to account for that in some kind of way. That's a hole in your wallet that you can mitigate. You can't erase it. You can combat it a little bit, but and there's ways to do that. But it's something that just exists right now. All right. Number 3 is losses. That's L. There's losses in the market. And losses in the market are just part of the game. The stock market goes up, stock market goes down. And you got to remember that money moves on the rub of the market. If it's moving, then people are making money. People are buying, people are selling. But you got to ask the question, do you really have to participate in all the losses? Many people think that I just got to do that because that's the way that it goes. I'm just telling you that that's not the way that it has to be. All right. Taxes. Well, most would agree that future taxes are going to be higher, and that's just going to be true. I made that statement earlier. We just passed a major stimulus package. It's not the only one that we've passed, and it's not the last one that we're going to pass. So all that money is got to come out of somewhere, and it's coming out of your pocket. It's coming out of my pocket. It comes in the form of taxes. So we just repealed in Washington State, I think it was 6 tax initiatives that snuck into our pay, into our city, into our country, or not to our country, in our state, that nobody ever voted on. So some of the on the ballot that we just voted on, it was like, hey, I just want to let you know that they've been charging you this tax, but nobody voted on it. Do you want to keep it or do you not want to keep it? We're like, what you talking about? Get that thing up there. You didn't have my permission. So people are trying to sneak taxes in all over the place on your money, and I don't know. Some of it you can avoid and some of it you can't, but you can definitely mitigate that. Again, it's the wetness of water, right? It's just water's wet. It just is what it is. Like, and there's ways that you got to navigate through that whole entire environment. Here's one that is really kind of I think it's really interesting one. It's ego, right? This can be a hole in your wallet too. You can actually get in your own way by taking information or advice from somebody who really is not that well versed in financial services whatsoever, right? It's like taking jewelry advice from a brickmaker, right? The guy, talk to your brickmaker about bricks. Like, that's what he knows how to do. But talk to him about jewelry, that's not a strong suit, right? But you have to enlist balanced professional help. What do I mean by that? I mean, like, you need somebody who works in insurance and is very good at that. And you might need somebody who works in securities, somebody who's really good at that, and somebody who's really good at tax law. You might need somebody who does that as well, right? The trifecta: insurance, securities, and taxes. You need people like that on your team so that you can have a balanced approach to what you do. If you've taken all of your advice from only one of those entities, you're off balance. and the advice that you get is going to be skewed, and you're not going to be able to take really fully educated approach to what's going on with your retirement. So I just finished talking to a client just before I got here. She said, "Hey, my friend told me that XYZ about my Social Security." I was like, that doesn't sound right at all. All right, but I'm not an authority on Social Security, but here's where you could find the information. So I directed her to a place where she could actually find it and then get really good input, right, from the SSA.gov website. And I showed her actually what to look up. She's like, oh, okay. And my caution to her was careful of taking advice from people who don't know anything about you or your situation or the way that money works. And you can get in your own way really quickly by just taking bad advice from somebody who's like basically dumber than a bag of rocks. Okay. And the last thing is rate of return. All right. So
my favorite.
Yeah. But, a hole in your wallet can actually be a bad rate of return, right? Or an overinflated rate of return. So a rate of returns that get 2%, that's a really weak rate of return. Inflation right now today in 2020 is about 2.15%. So if you're getting 2% on a return, that's just not good. All right. That's pretty static. But some people come through and say, oh yeah, you can get I'm getting 20% on my IRA. Well, that might happen one time, but you got to understand that that's not sustainable. So, putting your money in a place where somebody is telling you that without any kind of real hard evidence that you're going to get this really great rate of return, 20%, or even if somebody goes, well, let's just play it safe and then just get this 2%, both of those are bad pieces of advice. There are products out there that I'm really proud to say that we actually represent that do a real solid, 6, 7, 8% pretty regularly. And we have the proof to back that up. But, looking at the rate of return, in an account is a real strong indicator. I mean, a lot of times when you add up the rate of return that you get and you add that to the fees, your rate of return is like even less, so you got to watch out for that as well. So when I'm counseling somebody, I really want to, like I said, the word for me is empowerment, right? I want to have people take advantage of, or I want them to be really educated and really, able to navigate in their own personal financial space without a lot of fear of
reprisal.
Of making mistakes or whatever. But listen, hey, embarrassment, the risk of clarity is embarrassment, right? So, some people just like, I know that I probably should know, but I don't. Like, this is the time for you to actually start seeking out advice, seeking out people who can really put your best interests at heart. And I think that you can know, like in a very short amount of time, if somebody really is looking out for your best interest and is not self-serving. Mm-hmm. So, and I think that's one of the things that, we're really striving to be is a good resource for the community in that. And Dawnn is an amazing resource with that. I know it's something that is a big thing for myself as well and our entire team. But I really like, this the idea of just understanding the pitfalls. These aren't things that you need to be afraid of, but they are things that you need to be aware of so that you can navigate a little bit better in the space. So.
Look, Joe, that is so amazing. And this is why I love you, because you really help people. You give them a visual, you help them understand what we need to look at. And you lead me, you've led me and trained me and coached me in this area to the place where I feel confident in what I do when I sit down with my clients. Yeah. And I'm so grateful for that, because people are looking for help and they just don't even know where to turn.
Right.
They don't know who to trust. They don't know what the market is doing. They don't know how to even navigate. So that screenshot was perfect. And I thank you so much. And I'm so grateful for the resources that we have. And you and the Fitz group and our own wealth team. We actually have a wealth team. And so we have the resources to help people really mitigate these situations.
I think that's one thing that's great is that, you know, to have our capital management firm around us with Burlington Alliance Capital Management, with our Master General Agency, with the Fitz Group, you know, the resources we have with the Alliance. I mean, like, it's just, I mean, it's truly amazing, you know, that we can be in this position where we could help so many people, answer so many questions about their retirement, how it works, and then really walk them into retirement with a lot of confidence.
Yes.
Right. So our financial plans do not include you working at Home Depot after you retire.
Amen.
You know, I mean, some people, that's just kind of how it is. And that's how it is. I talk to some people, well, all I'm doing is just, you know, it's really late in the game for them. Mm-hmm. And we just got to make them comfortable, you know, as comfortable as possible, you know, let them know, hey, you know, you might need to do a little something extra. Maybe you don't get to retire as soon as you wanted to, but, you know, coming to us sooner than later, that's a good thing, you know.
Exactly. And the other thing that I learned from you that I was just so ecstatic to learn was how you're like, okay, if you're 20 years old, you need to be putting away 200.
Yeah.
If you're 30 years old, you need to be putting away 300. If you're 40 years old, you need to be putting away 400. If you're 50 years old, you need to be putting away 500 a month.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, when we're looking at retirement, I think there's a real big difference between a savings plan and a retirement plan, right? Mm-hmm. You know, a savings plan is somebody putting away $20, you know, $50 a month, something like that. That's nice, you know. And but I have some people who there's people who come to us saying, you know, I want to retire and I want to do a retirement plan, but I want to put away about $50 a month. That's not a retirement strategy at all, you know. I mean, it's God love you. You know what I'm saying? But that's shoebox money. You know what I'm saying? You know, but if you're talking about retirement, you got to remember that. I'll give you a little secret. $1 million of 401k money equates to about after taxes, about $40,000 a year.
Oh my God.
All right. So you think about that. You think about how much money $1 million is, all right? And then you annuitize that, or you start making it into an income stream. It's about $40,000 after taxes, right? Depending on where you live, right, and how much the government's going to take out of that. So, you know, that used to be a lot of money. It's not a lot of money anymore. You know, it's a nice start. And so I guess I'm talking to all, like right now, I'm talking to all you 20-year-olds. Like, you have the ability to actually do something really significant with your retirement if we do the right kind of plan. And I think, you know, we can help with that. But if you're 40, 50 years old, there's still time for you to actually do something really significant about your retirement. You can choose the right kind of financial vehicles, and which I think that we can help with too. But you know, it's about leveraging your time, you know, leveraging your money. People, you know, most people who are really getting after their retirement are putting away 10, 15, 20% of their money every single month, right, on a regular basis. Now, that might seem like a whole lot out of your budget, you know, and the big challenge is, and this is what we challenge people with all the time, is maybe we look at things that you don't necessarily need to be doing right now, you know, or we strategically roll out debt into retirement plans, you know, like scheduling when a car payment is done, reallocating that money into a retirement plan. You know, we've seen people with a time horizon of only 10 years reallocate debt into different plans over the course of time and put away well over $150,000, $200,000 just because of reallocating debt that's going to pay off an interest rate. And now they get to use that interest rate for them, moving that into their retirement funds, you know, and just in a 10-year period. So, you know, putting significant dollars away for them in the future. But, you know, it's, you know, we really try to take a look at the numbers and then make sure that they make sense for the client, you know, and there's what you want. I mean, everybody wants to have $3, $4, $5 million set aside in their retirement plan. It's just not realistic for most people.
It's
But you know, we can make we could teach people how to make a significant impact on their retirement, given the time and the resources that they have already. And you know, it's been, you know, we're just continually getting better with that, and we're just seeing better and better results for people. You know, so.
Yes, and to that point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the appointment link so that people can meet with us, and if they request you, I'm definitely going to have you on my calendar.
Yeah, listen. I'd love to. This is what we do. Like, we're out here, like, we're in the community.
Takes a team. It really does.
And we love it. You know, we love seeing our clients win.
Yeah.
And you know, it costs nothing to talk to us. I have people ask me all the time, like, you know, what do you charge? I don't charge anything. Mm-hmm. So our carriers take care of us pretty well. You know, we make our money. You know, we're fine. But if you want, we'd love to talk to you. Like, if anybody out there is thinking, like, I just want to kind of know a little bit more about my own personal situation, we would love to sit down with you and then tailor a plan for you that works for you, and
not against you.
Not against you, but like something that's for you. And you know, we're confident that you'd love the plan, right? Yes. And we'll make something that's second to none for you guys. And we look forward to talking to you real soon. So yeah, jump on our calendar. We'd love to chat.
All right, Mr. Joe Walker. Well, I took more of your time than I asked for, and I appreciate you. But but you have just so much in that beautiful brain of yours, and I love picking at it. I just love it. But I'm going to honor the time commitment. I'm going to thank you so much for everything that you do.
It's been fun.
And how much you have supported me and continue to support me.
Definitely.
And I am super excited about our growth and agency and going actually above and beyond that to national manager. So I'm just calling it. I'm just calling it.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Yeah, my belief level is high, right up in there with you, girl. I'm with you. Yeah.
Well, I love you, and I shall talk to you later. And thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thanks for the invite, Dawn. It's been fun.
Yay for us. Thank you.
Yay, team.
Yay, team.
All right.